Okay, let's try with this question. Company valuation. We use the company name, company ABC. This is a bit more complicated, but this is more of a complete question, okay, whereby this will be a standalone question with like a complete kind of information given, okay. So here you are given this information as I usually do. There will be two parts of the exercise, A and B. I will do part A with you. I want you to try part B. Alright. Common share outstanding here is given 2 million. Price per share 12 ringgit for common share. Next dividend is RM1. Dividend growth is 5%. Flotation cost is 10 cents. Alright. Preferred shares outstanding is 150,000 units. Price per preferred share is what do you call that? 950, and fixed dividends per share is for preference share is 95 cents. Alright. And here you're given if the company wants to issue a new preference share, they must be sold at 4% less the current market price, and direct flotation cost is 30 cents. And finally, the third instrument. So you can divide this basically into three parts. Alright. Here is 1, 2, 3. But here is basically in the same question. Alright. Part 3 with the bond outstanding, the value is 10 million. Year maturity is 10 years. Coupon rate is 15%. Price is 8% above par value. Par value here being usually 1,000. And flotation cost is also 8% at par value. Alright. And tax rate is 30%. Okay. So usually you are, in this case, part A, you are required to calculate what do you call that? You are required to calculate the market value of ABC first. Market value of the company lah, market value of company ABC, right? So here what you will have to do is basically this, the market value. You have let's see, the common share. What is your common share value? So it's basically how many shares do you have? You have 2 million shares here, and the value is $12 per share. So basically it's 2 million times $12, which gives you 24 million. Alright. Your preference share, what is the value? So it's basically 9.5 here, $9.50 and 150,000. 150,000 shares times 9.5 ringgit. So this should give you 150 times 9.5. This should give you 1,425. 1, 2, 3. Alright, 1.425 million. And finally, your debt is this one. Okay, your debt is 10 million. But you remember here the price is 8% above par value. So how do you have to calculate? So 10 million. 10 million multiplied by 1.08. Why is 1.08? Because it's 8% higher than the par value. Alright, so here is 10 million, so you should get 10,800,000. Okay, this should be your, so you add this all up, this will give you the total market value of ABC. Alright, so here 24, so it's 34.8 million plus 1.425, so you should get 36,225. Alright, so this is the market value of your company. Alright, so the next part of the question, they are requiring you to calculate the cost of equity. Where are we? Okay, in this case, the cost of equity, remember, so here we have two parts of equity. One is what am I saying? Cost of equity, we have common share, and I think the other one is preference share. Oh, sorry. The question is also asking for, I add another part of the question. This one becomes, so you have cost of preference share, cost of debt, and finally WACC. So 5 parts to the question. Okay, so 1 is done. So now we're doing part 2, cost of equity. Alright, so you have a look here. What is given? Cost of equity or common share lah. Alright, remember, and what is given here? So common share, cost of common share you can calculate by using 2 models. One is either dividend growth model, or the other one is using CAPM as our previous calculation. But here, since we are given dividend growth, so most likely we'll be required to use the dividend valuation model. Alright, okay, you look here. So what is given? Okay, let's have a look here. So the formula cost of common share using dividend growth model, so it's basically D1 over P, which is the price of common share, divide plus G, right? D1 here is given as how much? Your dividend here is given as $1. Your price now is, if you remember here, the price is $12. And what is your growth? Your expected growth is to be 5% or 0.05. So 1 divided by 12, this should give you 0.083 plus 0. Plus 0.05 equals to 13.3%. This is your cost of equity. Alright, so number 3 in the question, you are required to calculate the cost of preference share. Yeah. Alright, so here the formula is equals to your dividend divided by your price minus flotation costs. Okay, so dividend for preference share is given here is how much? Dividend here is 0.95. Price is how much? Price is 950. And what is your flotation cost? Flotation cost is basically the cost to issue shares. And in this case, if the company wants to issue new preference share, they must be sold at 4% less than the current value. And the direct flotation cost is 30 cents. Okay, so here what will happen? The price now you have to sell less than 4%. Alright, so you will only be able to sell at 96% of the price. Then you have to minus the flotation cost in this case, which is 30 cents. Okay, So 0.95 950 multiplied by 0.96, you should get smaller amount, equals to 9.12 minus 0.3. Okay, so this should give 0.95 divided by minus 8.82. 0.95 divided by 8.82. So this should give you 0.107 or 10.7%. This should be your cost of preference share. And finally, you have your, so this one done. Finally, it's your cost of debt. Sorry. Okay, if you remember, we have covered the formula previously, how to calculate the cost of debt, especially using of bond, using the yield to maturity formula.